need to help Michael get his head on straight. Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 6 of Jentry Chau versus the Underworld. And I don't want my cold open there to feel too mean or anything. What I'm saying is, like, he's not thinking straight. Michael has been having a lot of issues lately with what he wants out of his life, and because of these visions he's having and seeing them actually come true, even if he doesn't know what's going on, he's clearly taking it in the wrong manner. He's clearly acting out of defense, basically, in order to keep himself safe, keep himself from facing all these issues and all. But the problem is, he's going to become miserable and depressed and just not live a life worth living if he keeps this up. When I say he needs to get his head on straight, I'm saying it like he needs to get his act together. And it sounds ruder than it is. I'm genuinely trying to, like, root for him here. But when he's, like, wallowing in this depression just so he doesn't, face any tough times, basically, he needs to get things moving again. He needs to get back to a better place for himself and for the others around him. It's just not working out well in that regard. I mean, Stella has broken up with him now. He's, going back on his desire to do band practice and all instead of football. He's backpedaling on his development, basically. But I want to make clear that I'm not hating on him for this, because this is a very real thing that people go through, myself included. I'm a very anxious person. I'm very nervous. I'm very shy, and I don't handle pressure well. So when things tend to go wrong, I tend to retreat. I'm being hard on Michael here because I'm kind of projecting. I'm being hard on myself because it's stuff I need to hear. I need to get my act together. I need to get my head on straight. I need to stop letting what other people think of me get me down and prevent me from being able to do what I want to do and what I like to do. It may not be as secure, it may not be as, standardly popular of a choice to make, but it's what's going to make me happy in the long run, and that's what I need to focus my life on. And the same goes for Michael. Now, we also focused on Kit last episode, and we see that he's not a bad guy from what we can see. He's just kind of forced into this really bad situation that he doesn't want to be in. He's actually grown to really care for Jentry and doesn't want to steal her soul. But he does want to have humanity of his own. And so he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like he's serving a bad person, an actual bad person who, mind you, has a noble goal, but, is still kind of crazy. But in reality, he just wants to be human. He just wants to be cared about, and Gentry's the one person treating him as such. So he's kind of already getting his wish without having it, like, physically fulfilled. And so he's conflicted. And I like that conflict with an antagonist character, because he is an antagonist, no matter how you look at it. I'm not sold on the romance between him and Jentry. I don't really think they have much chemistry. And with the last episode, they've also kind of like broken it off, even though it was a misunderstanding. It's crazy. And I feel like it's the weakest part of this series so far. The entire love triangle shit. They're clearly building up for Gentry and Michael to get together now that both of these other relationships have failed and whatnot. And it's just like, it feels forced. Like, Stella breaking up with Michael over this all felt extremely forced. And it felt like it was just done for the possibility of him and Gentry getting together. Because they're the main male and main female character. I don't buy their relationship either. I don't really buy her relationship with either Kit or um, Michael. Funny enough, she actually had more chemistry with Stella, but I don't even ship that either. Honestly, I don't really ship Gentry with anyone right now. I don't feel like she's had enough chemistry with anyone to make that like a valid concept to me. And specifically the right kind of chemistry too, you got to take into account. Like Michael and Kit definitely seem like good friends for her. And she definitely could be a support system, especially for Kit, who's, going through some crazy shit. More than she could ever know. But I don't see romance there. My issue is is that with them seemingly forcing this romance, it feels like it might just be another Star Versus situation again. And I'm not saying that the entire series is going to go to shit like Star Versus did. No. I very much doubt that at this point. I think that this series is going to end mostly well. I just don't like what they're doing with the romance stuff. It feels like they're forcing Gentry and Michael together just because they're the main male and female characters. Which is exactly what they did with Star Versus. Despite the fact that both Marco and Star had better chemistry with literally anyone else, the fact that they had no chemistry with each other in terms of romance, and the fact that their relationship actually was not good for either of them, the show still forced Starco at the end. Forced them to not be with, characters that would make more sense for them to be with, but rather for Starco. And of course, that's not the only issue with Star Versus. That series ended abysmally, especially considering with how good it was at points. But yeah, I'm just saying, for the romance angle alone, I feel like it's kind of taking that same route that Star Versus did. It just feels like they're forcing it together just because it's the main male and female character, rather than actually making them work as a couple. If they made them work as a couple, then that would be another story, but they don't. At least not in my opinion. And that might change. If that does change, I will accept that. I will acknowledge that. But they definitely have to actually gain chemistry for each other. So we'll see if that happens. We still haven't gotten the assassin, bounty hunter, whatever you want to call her, that Gugu basically sicked on Gentry. Excuse me. The one that was after her parents all those years ago that we saw. We saw like in episode 2, maybe 3. It might have been 3. But either way, episode 2 or 3, we saw the memories and everything, and we saw her, and then we saw Gugu in the current day basically sicked her on Gentry to make sure her powers would come out and make sure her powers would, get better. She's manipulating the shit out of a vulnerable teenage girl for her own needs because she fucking sucks. But we haven't actually had any follow-up on that yet. So I'm wondering when that's going to happen, because we're pretty much at mid-season right now. There's 13 episodes, and we're at episode 6, so that's mid-season. I'm wondering if they're going to do that for mid-season, or if they're going to still wait until the second half. I'm not sure, but I've been waiting for that. I mean, I like this other stuff that they're doing, this kind of ghost of the week stuff, you could say. Um, but I want to see like main story progression as well. And mind you, Michael and Kit, their main character progression in the last episode is important. Clearly, I'm not saying that we haven't been getting important stuff, but I want like notable story progression, especially in regards to Gentry's parents. That's like the big thing I'm excited to learn more about right now. But as long as we still get good episodes, that's definitely important. That's definitely a good thing. So I think for the time being, we're just going to get on with this, see what this episode has in store, and hope for the best. So let's get this going. Hold up just a second there. Before you click that link down in the description below to go to today's reaction, I just wanted to take this moment real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about all the awesome gaming content over on the Princess of Gaming channel. Every single day of the week, we have some awesome Let's Plays for you. A bunch of different things to check out, and more coming in the future. And don't forget to click that subscribe button or like the video if you really enjoy the content I'm putting out. There will be more to come in the future. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get this going. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, yeah. Gugu is claiming that she's been doing all of this to protect Jentry and all, and that whatever she's doing right now is going to allow Jentry to see her parents and is going to explain everything. But it's like, I don't know if I trust her still. I don't know if this is going to actually explain everything. I feel like there's still going to be a lot that's being kept hidden. I don't have a reason to trust her just as of yet. Maybe the next episode will help that, but we'll see. We'll see exactly what happens once they, I guess, go see the parents. That's, I feel, going to be the proving for if we can trust her moving forward. But the thing is, if this does end up being, like, Gugu coming clean about everything, then I feel like I feel like it would be a bit rushed. And this kind of goes back to, like, my issues with episode 1 and everything. I know this is like a 13-episode season, and I know it was, like, made with the intent of, like, they don't know if they're going to get another season. They want the story to be, you know, wrapped up or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like there should have been, like, more to Jentry, you know, not being able to trust her and ignoring her. Like, I feel like this shouldn't have happened until next episode, at least. Like, having this be in the same episode, I mean, mind you, the entire trust issues thing has been, like, brought up before, but it was also resolved pretty quickly back then. And so it's like, it just feels like they're not letting it, like, remain for any elongated period of time. But now we have the added trust issues with Kit, because she now knows Kit is a painted skin demon rather than a human. And she believes, like, that because of all the lying and everything, that he can't be trusted. And she's reading that the painted skin demons are emotionless and everything. And we know the truth, obviously, as viewers, because we have a different perspective. Like, from Gentry's perspective, like, she had no reason not to trust him. She didn't know about any of this. And now with this, it's like she doesn't know, like, what he's really like. Because I would say that so far, at least, Kid is the most tragic character in this. He's a painted skin demon, but he genuinely wants to be human. He wants a soul. And he genuinely wants to be a good person. He made this deal with Chang because he was promised that it would give him a soul and would allow him to be human, but he's grown to care for Jentry, and he doesn't want to do this anymore. However, we've also seen that this has not been the first time this has happened. He has grown to care for multiple different people throughout the years, from his childhood friend to what seemed like a former partner, what was, I guess, a music teacher or something. And he's killed all of them. But I don't know. I feel like he's been gaining humanity through all of these experiences. Like back in those times, he probably wasn't as, human, as good as he is now. And so it's a different experience. But we also see that these are legitimately demons haunting him from his past. Issues that he's still facing and that he's not, gotten over. He's literally traumatized by this all. And so it definitely affects him every time he does this. We absolutely see that these painted skin demons, or at least him, he is not this emotionless, manipulative person. Not by nature. But the fact that Jentry is now afraid of him, and rightly so, it's fair. Because again, she doesn't have all the context. Like, she's absolutely like someone who would come to change her opinion on all of that and would come to accept him after time. But the problem is he's going to see this as just a flat out rejection. The one person who had, shown him humanity in this life is now rejecting him. And that's going to probably turn him against everything, all the growth he had. He's probably going to go back into just trying to take her soul now. Probably start listening to Chang. And that really sucks because, again, he's not a bad person. But he's gone through so much trauma, and now this is just adding on to that. He's going to just kind of break and give up on trying to be human. And I feel really bad for him. Like, really bad. And it's actually kind of surprising me. It's actually kind of surprising me because I didn't expect to feel like as bad for him as I did. I didn't expect to get as invested in him specifically compared to other characters. And yet here we are. Meanwhile, Michael is learning that with his powers comes the responsibility of acting upon them. He has this vision and everything of all of that was going on during this state fair. And he remembered that during this, Stella gets hurt from a bull, from a rampaging bull. Well, when the bull is brought to life, thanks to Solar Tang's magic from her staff thing, she called it something specific. I can't remember what it was right now. But when the bull comes to life, it obviously Stella's in danger. Michael is able to knock her out of the way, able to get her to safety. And it goes to show that the future can be changed. It's not set in stone. It's not a permanent fixture. It's something that hasn't happened yet. Therefore, with his knowledge of what could happen, he can help people. He can use this to protect and save. And I like that. I really like that we're going that route with his powers. Because you see a lot of cases, in a lot of shows where people have some kind of precognitive ability. A lot of times they'll try to use it to do something like just solve generic crimes or get rich by reading the lottery ahead of time and everything, stuff like that. It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck. But like a genuine kind person who's trying to use it for good reasons to help people, it feels more believable than a lot of those other situations where they're using it either for greed or for, like, attention and power and whatnot. Um, I'm very curious if we're gonna see Solar Tang again at this point. I feel like we need to, but this also felt like it was kind of like the follow up to what we already had in regards to her setup, because she was like, Gugu was like gonna hire her to help get Gentry's powers taken care of and everything, but it's like, I guess that's kind of being taken care of, and now that she's opening up to Gentry, hopefully, um, she's probably gonna take that back, right? Not to mention, this entire time, Solar Tang was running away from her. You notice. She wasn't trying to actually confront Gentry here. So it's like really interesting. And I definitely want to see more with that. Plus, I just want to see her again because she's hot. It doesn't even matter if it's like when she's aged or back to her younger form. It's like she's hot. It's the muscles. I'm into that. um, but yeah, I'm really getting more invested than ever in this. This definitely felt like a mid-season finale, bringing back Solar Tang, tackling everything with Michael's new powers, tackling Gentry finding out about Kit. It definitely felt like a big episode. Like this was an important one, and I'm very very interested to see how they where they go from here with the next episode especially, but just in general with all these storylines. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very very interesting. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens next time and see how these storylines go, and hope to God that Gugu finally actually is truthful about being honest with Gentry. That she's not going to bullshit again or hide things again. I don't fully trust her yet. I have no reason to after everything. But yeah, it's like, hopefully she goes on her redemption arc right now. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, no spoilers for the future. But let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.